What's going on, everyone? Today we are taking a look at the BenQ W4100i 4K smart projector. So I've been using BenQ projectors for quite some time. My first projector was the HT2050, then the HT3550, and then now I have my latest home theater upgrade, which is this one here, the W4100i. So if you happen to be shopping for a new projector or thinking about upgrading from the HT3550, stick around and I'll be going over all the features and how these two compare as well. Alright, so taking a look at some of the specs, this has a LED projection with a 4K resolution, a brightness of 3200 ANSI Lumens, built-in Android TV, and includes BenQ's exclusive HDR Pro technology. Alright, so taking a look at the projector itself, this is definitely a nice and sleek looking unit. If you're someone that has a dedicated home theater, one thing you want to do is keep your room dark. And I love that this one is all black and dark gray, as you can just mount it up on the ceiling and it's pretty much gonna disappear and blend into the room. Definitely a lot better versus white projectors or other light color projectors. So looking at the front, you have a large vent, then you have your lens and IR over here on this side. And then looking at the top, you have a few logos, the BenQ logo. Right here, you have your focus and zoom dials. And as you can see right here, this has both a vertical and horizontal lens shift. I'll go over that a little more when I set up the projector. And then coming to the left side, this is where you have all your controls. If you have a HT3550 or older model, they usually have it on the top. But I do like this better on the side, as it's going to be a lot easier to access once you have it up on the ceiling. Taking a look at your ports in back, you have your power port, a 12-volt trigger port, serial port, service port, media reader port, so you can hook up a flash drive or hard drive to this projector and play media that way, your audio out port, your optical port, and as you can see here, you have 3 HDMI ports, and they're all HDMI 2.1. The second port here is a audio return port, and this supports audio pass-through with 5.1, 7.1, or Dolby Atmos audio. And then the third one over here is a 4K 120 Hz port. And then last but not least, right over here, you have another USB port, which is used to power or charge a device. And then coming over here, you have this compartment that opens up, and this is where your smart TV dongle goes. So when you get the projector, this is not installed. It comes in a separate box like this. So I do like this separate attachment. So if you're someone that has a home theater already, chances are you already have a Shield TV or other media player device of your choice. So if you don't want to use this, you can just go ahead and pop that out and just use the projector as is. So I think I definitely prefer this separate approach versus other projectors that force you to use the Android operating system. Taking a look at the remote, this is what it looks like. All the buttons are backlit as well. Good hand feel, nice and comfortable. It also has a good heft to it that makes it feel very well made. And this is a half Bluetooth, half IR remote, so you can control the projector and the Google Stick all from this single remote. I'm really happy that it has this IR function. And the reason why is I have a Harmony remote like this one. I have all my stuff in my home theater set up. If they had ditched this, I would have had to reprogram everything, and I really didn't want to go through that. But I'm happy to report it also uses the same IR codes as their old remote. And then if, like me, if you have the Harmony, you're not going to have to reprogram it. All the settings are still going to roll over and work on this projector. I almost forgot to mention it, but every projector also includes an individual calibration report, and this ensures that there's minimal difference between every single one of these projectors, and that every projector also meets the 100% Rec 709 and 100% DCI P3. And as you can see right here, this is all the calibration results for this exact projector. Alright, so here it is with the HT3550 stacked on top. I'm not sure how well it'll show on camera, but the 4100 is about 2 inches bigger, and then it's also about 1 inch to 1.5 inches deeper as well. As you can see, they swapped the lens location. This was also another concern for me because I like staying with this projector because I have a very limited room. So I have my mounts in a certain place, my screen in a certain place, and I really don't have the size or space to really move things around much. But with this projector, it's still going to be a direct drop-in. Yes, the lens is in a different spot, but since this has that horizontal lens adjustment, all I got to do is adjust that dial and I can get the image lined up in the same location as this one. All right, so as you can see, I now have the projector installed up on my ceiling mount. Again, this was a direct swap with the BenQ HT3550, and this has a few adjustments to make installing it and getting the screen position very easy. First off, this has a zoom ratio of 1.15 to 1.50. So if your room is limited or you have an ideal location for the projector, you can go ahead and mount it where you want. And you have some hardware-based adjustments that you can do to get the screen at the right size that you want. And this is a 1.3x zoom ratio. And then this also has a 4-way lens shift. So you see right here, you have two different dials. One is for the horizontal lens shift, and the other one is for the vertical lens shift. This has a 0 to 60% vertical and a 15% horizontal. That may not sound like a lot, but it's actually quite a large adjustment. At my screen size, that's about 16 inches that you could move the screen left or right, which is very, very helpful in getting things exactly squared up how you want it. Normally, you would have to either find the exact location where you need to mount your projector, or if it's mounted and the screen is off, you would have to move your screen and fix it that way. But right here, you have all these adjustments to get everything nearly perfect. All right, so turning on the projector, this is what it looks like. As I said earlier, this has built-in Android TV, and this is fully Google certified. There's a lot of projectors out there that have an interface similar to this, but not the certification. So what happens is Netflix and many other apps don't work, so they have to use workarounds like a browser or something like that. And when they use workarounds, you get a very low quality video and then bad audio quality as well. So you always want to make sure you get a fully certified one like this. As you can see here, it comes preloaded with Netflix, and then you also have YouTube and thousands of other apps as well. Basically, almost every app out there, you're going to be able to get it right here on this device. Netflix, YouTube, Hulu, Disney+, Kodi, Plex, and so on, so on. If you come over here, you have the full Google Play Store. So same like your cell phone, tablet, or Fire Stick. You go ahead and search and find thousands of apps right here. And as you can see right here, this is a very responsive layout. This feels just as smooth as my NVIDIA Shield TV. There's no lag or anything like that. When I push buttons, everything responds very quickly. When I open apps, they also open quickly as well. So it's good to see that they not only included a Android TV interface, but actually gave it the proper specifications to give you a snappy and responsive experience as well. So besides all the apps that you have here, if you prefer, you can also cast content using an Android device, iOS device, Mac computer, Chromebook, or Chrome browser. Even though this runs on Android, you have your Android settings, which are right here. But if you click the top menu button, you also have your traditional BenQ settings. So right here, you have a few quick toggles. And then over here, you have your advanced settings. Overall, it's pretty similar to the HT3550. I'm not going to deep dive too much into this. You can go ahead and see what's on every single page. And some of the key features that are in here, I'll be highlighting shortly. Taking a look at the image quality, this projector definitely puts out a very good looking image. As I said earlier, this has a 4K resolution with 3200 ANSI Lumens. So not only is the image very sharp, but it also has plenty of brightness as well. You might even find yourself toning down some of the brightness, as it does get brighter than most people would need, unless of course you are projecting at a very large screen size. Even when you have this in a very bright room, the image is still very visible. Yes, you lose some contrast in black levels, which is inevitable, but overall it is still a very usable image, and you can still see everything happening very clearly. Compared to the HT3550, not only does the image get brighter, but HDR also looks a lot better as well. And a lot of this is thanks to their enhanced tone mapping with their new HDR Pro technology. This is a multi-stage system that enhances the image to give you the best results possible. First off, you have a global contrast enhancer, and this analyzes the entire image and enhances everything to give you a balanced and more detailed picture. Next, you have a local contrast enhancer, and this breaks up every frame into over 1,000 individual regions and enhances them based on the area's content. This approach preserves the image by enhancing the areas independently rather than applying a blanket setting over the entire image. And last but not least, you have the dynamic black enhancement, which optimizes the contrast and projection light levels to bring out the details in dark shadows and prevent washout in brighter scenes. A lot of projectors sacrifice image quality to apply enhancements, but BenQ's multi-step system enhances the image while preserving the original scene content. All in all, definitely a great system that makes HDR comparable to what you would get from an actual TV. While I was happy with the HDR on the HT3550, it's definitely a night and day difference with how much they improved it on this model. This projector has a color accuracy of 100% DCI-P3 and 100% Rec. 709. So not only does it put out a very good looking image, but also a very accurate one as well. I usually find myself tinkering with the settings or going online and trying to find a calibration profile. But with this one, I did not need to make any adjustments as everything looked great and accurate straight out of the box. A lot of projectors aim for an oversaturated image that looks good to an untrained eye, similar to what you would see on a Best Buy show floor. But what I love about BenQ projectors is they always aim to deliver a great image while maintaining a natural and cinematic look. Another great feature this has is called AI Cinema Mode, which uses AI algorithms to enhance compressed streaming content. This analyzes and fine-tunes saturation, sharpness, and contrast, while also applying noise reduction as well. In the end, this is able to take a noisy and compressed video and restore details, clarity, and colors to give you the best streaming experience possible. Alright, so when it comes to gaming, this has a 17.9 millisecond latency. For casual gaming, anything 50 milliseconds or less is usually good enough. And then if it's a quicker game or first-person shooter, that's where you'll want at least 30 milliseconds or less. Again, this has a low latency of 17.9 milliseconds, so no matter what game you play on this projector, everything will feel nice and responsive. When it comes to sound, this projector has a built-in 5-watt speaker, and while it's good enough and doesn't sound bad, typically projectors like this are intended to be connected to a soundbar or full surround system to get the best experience possible. Last but not least, compared to the HT3550, you won't have to worry about changing bulbs every few years, as this does have a very long lamp life of 20,000 hours. Overall, this is definitely a very solid projector. It has more than enough brightness, the image looks great, and in my opinion, it's just one of the best projectors in this price range. All in all, if you happen to be shopping for a new projector, I would highly recommend this one here, which again is the BenQ W4100i. If you would like to purchase or get more information, I'll also have the link in the description as well. Alright, well that about wraps up this video. As usual, if you have any questions at all, feel free to drop me a comment and let me know. Otherwise, thanks for watching, and I'll see you all next time.